Some of the things that he pointed out, it brings some things to mind that we can ask ourselves because we're asking the clients the same thing. The population we're serving, we're asking them the same thing, hopefully, that we're asking ourselves. One of the things is, what do I want? What do I want? Is it a fulfilling career? Is it healthy personal interactions? It may fall between those two. Well, we're asking the clients the same thing. What is it that you want out of recovery? What is it that you want to attain? Why are you entering into the recovery process? We want to probe that so we can identify it, but it's also something we want to identify. Why am I here? What brings me to work every day? What has me working 40 to 50 hours a week, every week, right? What is it for me that has me engaging at that level, right? I have to evaluate what is it that I want. If it's a fulfilling career, then I'm going to begin to invest, and I'm going to treat it like an investment, like any other investment that people invest in, right? We begin to put time, or we begin to put money, and we begin to see personal quality of life develop, and we begin to see a more fulfilling career maybe, right? More stable. There's a better feeling when we're applying ourselves toward the things that we know, the things that we spend time learning. There's a feeling that comes with that. A feeling of fulfillment, a feeling that I'm on point, a feeling that I'm doing my best to live up to the responsibilities of the career I've chosen. Could be healthy personal interactions. The more that I'm lining up with my career, the more I can be available in my personal life. But I have to determine what am I putting as a priority. There has to be a balance. We have that pie, right? Sometimes it would help us to evaluate the pie and begin to look at how much time am I putting in my extracurricular activity. Am I putting so much time into enjoying myself that I'm coming to work listless? And I really don't have the patience, tolerance, or the patience to give to the population I serve? Am I just counting time when I'm at work? I'm just looking at the clock, waiting for the hours to click by, and I'm waiting for Friday, right? So that old song, there was a song a long time ago that said, working for the weekend. Right? Working for the weekend. We work all week long only to go spend it all on the weekend. And that was a mindset. That's, a throwback to the 70s. What is shaping and controlling my choices, my emotions? What am I allowing to have impact? Am I engaging in my career so I have a better feeling and better belief about it? And on my recreation time or my off time, I'm spending time controlling my choices and controlling my emotions so that I don't get in a position where I'm not able to come to work and be present. Does that make sense? Because we're asking our clients to evaluate the same thing in our treatment plans, in our individual sessions, in our groups. We're asking them what is shaping and controlling their choices and emotions. Well, early recovery, we know that they're challenged by making choices to drink or use, or to enter into self-sabotaging behavior. Well, there's a dual application again because we could be repeating that process. We know that we've talked about in RABT, why do you do the things that you do? Speaking again of the dual application, fulfilling action. There's something I'm thinking that produces a feeling that produces an action. But we know that in the process, what we're trying to apply in our own lives and what we're trying to convey to our clients is that a lot of times we have to go against the norm. Because when the alarm clock goes off, it's not always about how I feel. I have to act my way into better thinking. If I went with this motto, if I allowed my thoughts to control my feelings, to control my actions, I would probably never get out of bed. Right? How many of us have maximum comfort in the morning? When you're in bed and it's warmer under the covers than it is outside of the covers, right? If I go with my thought and say, man, I don't feel like getting up, I just want to lay here all day. So let me call in sick. Right? So we have to act our way into better thinking. And when he talked about evaluating, if we begin to evaluate those 8 things he had on the board, happiness, health, reasonably prosperous, friends, peace of mind, good relations, hope, having a sense of security, well, we begin to see if we evaluate those areas, maybe we can begin to see how my career path really ties into a lot of those things. Because one thing to remember is that happiness is very much connected to progress. If I have the feeling that I'm progressing, you begin to notice that people are happier. Whether it's school, whether it's employment, whether it's investments, whether it's projects. If I feel that I'm progressing, there's a better connection to happiness. So what are we doing in our workplace? Am I applying myself at a level to when I get off work, I can leave feeling accomplished? That means I have to do a to-do list. I have to do a to-do list not because it's task-oriented, because I also need something measurable that when I conclude my day, I can look at my day and I finish X, 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 X. Okay, I still have these things to do. This will move to the next day. But I can see something measurable that I've accomplished for that day. I don't know if you've experienced this, but there may be a day that you really can't put your finger on the things that you've done. Has anyone experienced that? Right? You said the whole day went by. What really took place? Well, when you leave the workplace, that really doesn't feel good. You kind of feel off center. So the more that you can identify something measurable, the better that you'll feel, because you'll have the feeling of progress. We know that just as a principle, and we can fill in the blank, that successful people do what? Anyone? We try to fill in the blank. Successful people do what successful people do. That's one. What
others fear and not do?
What others fear and not do. Okay.
What makes them happy?
What makes them happy? Successful people do what makes them happy. Well, then we go back to the feeling. Something to think about. So what I would just put on the table is successful people do.
I'm waiting to hear
What they do. What they do.
What unsuccessful people are not willing to do.
the next indicator right
Because let's talk about getting up in the morning. The unsuccessful person that hasn't entered into a career path and may not be progressing on projects, right?
Starving musician.
Right. Staying in the mindset of how talented I am and someone should come and give me a contract, but there's no action connected with that. There's no visiting the record companies, no going on auditions, right? They're expecting it to be brought to them, and they're wondering why they don't have that thing. Well, the successful, in this case, musicians, that went after and set appointments and went on interviews and played for free to get exposure, he was willing to do what the unsuccessful person was not willing to do. So successful people do what unsuccessful people are not willing to do. And what am I